Hi, and welcome to Living Inspired with Autism. Now, this is the show for parents of autistic children who want to live calmer and more joyful lives while raising the incredible kids without burning themselves out in the process. I'm Antoinette, life coach for parents of autism, to help you have a fulfilling life. I'm also a mom to my own autistic son, Max. He's partially verbal and also the most amazing teacher. Now, each week I share tools, stories, and a whole lot of encouragement to help you build a thriving family life with autism at the center without losing yourself along the way. So let's dive in. So imagine this scenario. It is 7:35 in the morning. Breakfast dishes are half done. The other half are actually welded to the table with porridge glue. Someone has tipped out the boxes of Lego again, and the small plastic universe now occupies most of the kitchen floor. Your kiddo's in pajamas because the favorite t-shirt has gone missing. And of course, we'll find it in the linen basket later. And the sensory texture of the clean shirt is currently enemy number one. The school bag is somewhere, and just as you're about to leave, your kiddo elopes, slips out the door quick as lightning, because the neighbor's cat has appeared, and today, that curiosity is stronger than any routine you had planned. You breathe, you retrieve, you return, and by 8:10, you're already late, already frazzled, and already thinking, I just don't have time for this. I never have time for any of this. Or maybe it's the end of the day and you've cleaned up the same mess 3 times. Something gets thrown and breaks. You're sweeping a glass while running triage on dinner. Or your kiddo is self-harming, biting, head-banging, scratching, and now the evening becomes about safety, soothing, and sitting together in the dark, regulating both your nervous systems. The laundry pile develops sentience. You answer a couple of emails with half a brain cell and collapse into bed thinking, where did the time go? Now, if that's you, if you're living in the reality of behaviors and messes and eloping and breaking and destroying things and sometimes self-harming, first, I want you to hear this. You are not doing anything wrong. You are not behind. You are parenting in real life, not in a brochure. And your love and your presence, your willingness to show up when it's hard, that matters more than a spotless calendar ever will. So today, I want you just to think about this. It's not that you don't have enough time. It's that time for autism parents is constantly taxed by what they call micro disruptions, but may feel like a macro disruptions to you right now, and safety priorities that most schedules just never account for. The world hands us standard planners and productivity tips that are designed for neurotypical disruption light lives. And no wonder they don't fit. Our lives have different variables. We've got regulation needs, sensory things going on, communication differences, and moments where safety is the only item on the agenda. And I just want to add here, this is your life. It is messy and unpredictable. And more often than not, you wish for, quote, normal, unquote. And it's okay most of the time. But when you go through your days constantly wishing for that normal, we know there is work to be done. Because when we're constantly fighting with what is, you are going to lose 100% of the time. You are going to be constantly overwhelmed. But there is a better way. So today, I'm going to teach you 3 shifts that will help you create time. And not by adding hours to your day, obviously, because we can't, but by changing how your time gets used. And we're going to protect it and we're going to recover it. These are the foundations that I teach inside my coaching program, which is called Creating Time. It's a step-by-step way to reclaim your hours, your energy, and your calm without changing your kiddo, your job, or your commitments. So today we are going to cover spotting hidden time drains, which are really unique to autism family life, boundaries that protect your time and nervous system without guilt, and designing a weekly rhythm that reduces the fires and builds that recovery in. And along the way, I'm going to give you some concrete tools that you can use this week. Are you ready? So we're taught to look for big tasks as the enemy. But in autism family life, the real thief is often the micro drains, which, as I mentioned, feel more like macro drains right now. Small disruptions that compound. I've broken them down into 6 common micro drains. So the first one is the safety. Eloping risks change everything because you're not just leaving the house, you're performing calculated choreography. Door locks, visual checks, shoes by the door, ID tags, a charged phone, maybe a neighbor on standby. And this mental bandwidth this takes is invisible, but it's enormous because when that loop fires multiple times a day, it drains your time and your energy, and that you haven't planned for. So what helps? Install door chimes or door locks. Use simple stop visuals on exits. Rehearse micro drills, which you can figure out on your own. Hold by hand, count to 5, deep breath, open the door. And keep a go-to bag by the door, like your snacks or your headphones, obviously your shoes. Every minute you save at the threshold compounds. The second one is fixing your time after there's been a mess or something's been broken. If a plate shatters, you're not just sweeping, you're cleaning up the area, you're managing bare feet, you're de-escalating stress, and perhaps you're replacing the item. That's 10 to 20 minutes minimum. Now multiply that over a week and you've lost hours you didn't account for. Now what helps for that? You create crash zones with unbreakables for that high energy stuff that's going on. And you just put away the things that are breakable. And you've got your quick sweep kit, your hand broom, your dustpan, your wet wipes in a visible spot. You're not giving in, you're engineering for reality. And the third one is searching, looking for things. Where's the favorite t-shirt? Where's that specific snack? Oh, I've run out of it. The specific blue cup with the dinosaur. Search time is time tax. Now, what helps for that? Have a favorite box. 1 basket per child for their top 10 items. Buy duplicates of high demand essentials. And use a when in doubt, one place. Rule for keys, headphones, communication devices. Put them all in one place. And the fourth one is transition drag. Transitions are hard for all brains, especially when the sensory needs are high. The 5 minutes you thought becomes 15. What helps with this? Use visual countdowns, transition songs if your kiddo's into music, and first then cards. Start transition earlier and lengthen the runway rather than pushing hard at the last minute. Because our kiddos need a bit of time. So do we. The fifth one is decision fatigue. What's for dinner? Which therapy is going to happen now? What homework needs to be done? Do we go to the park today? Decisions burn time and executive function. What helps? Pre-decide. Rotate 3 simple dinners. Assign theme nights, pasta, wraps, and tray bake. and run default weeks where Mondays are for laundry, Tuesdays are for appointments, etc. So default reduces decision drag because you know what you're supposed to do. Recovery time. After there's been a really hard behavior moment, like breaking or self-harming or meltdown, you need recovery. And this is not optional because your nervous system and your kiddos needs to come down. What helps? You bake some recovery blocks into your day, just 10 or 15 minutes. Dim the lights, quiet the music, have the weighted blanket, do the rocking chair, whatever it is. Your schedule should have recovery blocks built in. So don't treat it as a failure, just treat it as planning. So for the next 2 days, I just want you to keep a simple running note on your phone or jot it down. What happened? What took up the time? Was it the cleaned up cereal? Did your kiddo elope? Or the things that went missing and you had to find them? How long did it take? Estimate. And how did it feel? Your stress level from 1 to 5. The goal here is not to judge, it's just to see the patterns and just to note how long these things take for you. When you're raising an autistic child, especially with behaviors and the messes that come along with it, eloping and breaking or self-harming, your time isn't just minutes on a clock. It's your nervous system and your capacity to regulate and your ability to be present without snapping. Boundaries are how we protect that. So let me redefine boundaries for you. Boundaries are the rules of kindness that we honor, they're for ourselves, to get so that everybody gets the best of us and not what's left of us. Let's talk about some commitment filters. So before you say yes to anything, let's run through some filters to ask yourself. Do these 5 questions. Does this help my kiddo or our family this season? Is it the right season for a new behavioral plan or a new meeting or a new seat on the PTA? And then, do I have the energy, time, and regulation? So do a 1 to 5. If it's a 3 or lower, it is a no. And then, will this refill my cup or drain? That isn't worth it? Those are the kind of questions you need to ask. If that commitment doesn't pass at least a 4 or a 5, the kindest answer for yourself and your kiddo is no, or sorry, just not now. And then the stop doing list. You are allowed to stop doing these things. Perfect dinners. Beans on toast is a win. Ramen noodles is a win. Folding every item, not necessary. Explaining your child to every stranger. You don't owe anyone a TED Talk in the supermarket, okay? Attending every birthday and fixing everything right now. One of the things that does come up, one of the feelings is guilt if you said no or not now. So I want you to think of one sentence mantra and keep it on your phone. For example, saying no protects my child, my nervous system, and my family's peace. And read it before you answer any ask. You're not cold, you are wise. So if you're hearing these tools and you're thinking, yes, I know this is for me, that's why I created the Creating Time program for autism families. Now I'll show you an easy way to create your life. And this podcast is there to fill in some things just to think about. Think about we are going to be removing hidden time drains. We're going to be setting clear boundaries with scripts for your school and friends and family and for yourself. We are going to build a weekly rhythm that works for you, which expects disruption, it plans for safety and still makes room for you. We're going to create safety protocols and use reset rituals that bring the whole house back to baseline in minutes and not hours. If that sounds like something that your family needs, the link is below in the show notes and it will take you to the details. So come and join me with that. Schedule, which is built for a different life, will always feel like a fight because we build rhythms that match our lives. So here are things to think about. Let's start at ground zero. I want you to use a calendar. It can be paper or digital. I use a Google Calendar because it's simple and it's also linked to my phone, so I always have it at hand. I also have a paper diary where I will note my to-dos because I just love checking off items. And it just gives me that sense of a job well done. But it's totally up to you how you want to do that, whatever's easier for you. It's just super important to keep in mind that you're not just creating time for your family's needs, but for your own as well. So when you're creating the diary, I just want you to keep in mind a couple of things that we are going to put in there. And it may sound a little bit overwhelming, but I promise you all will become clear. So we are going to be taking care of care. So meals, medication, hygiene, sleep routines, all the care things. Those are going to go into your calendar. We're going to figure out the connection, play, special interest, co-regulation, communicating with your child, communicating with each other as a family. Admin. So all those admin-y things, the filing, the emails, the forms, appointments, all that kind of stuff. And then also what keeps your house running, like your laundry cycles and what needs to be cleaned up and put away. And then also the things that you need to do for prepping for work or for schools. So IEP preps or meeting notes or resource calls or Googling things. And then also there's going to be a spot for you, for your movement, exercise, journaling, stillness, anything that replenishes you. You're not going to hit all these things every day. And that's okay, because the magic is that each important part of life gets seen rather than squeezed into the margins. And then another tip is to batch. So group therapies where possible. So maybe do 2 things on the same day and keep the next day lighter for recovery. And then maybe do an admin power hour once a week where you do all your admin things and then it's out the way. And batch shopping and order duplicates to reduce emergency shopping. Then I also have what I call the 5-3-2 reset after there's been a disruption. Now, it's not so much the time that counts, however long it takes for you. When there's a mess or a breakage or behavior spike, we're going to contain it, we're going to regulate, and then we're going to restore. So however long it takes, this is just a ballpark. Let's take 5 minutes to contain, clear the danger, move the glass, close the doors, get everybody safe. Use 5 minutes for that. Then 3 minutes, you just regulate. You do deep breaths, you calm down, dim the lights, whatever needs to be done, headphones, snack, weighted blanket to calm down. And then take a couple of minutes to restore. So you return the environment to workable, you sweep up the mess, you bin everything, you reset everything. Then take a different time for each family. And then I have a eloping protocol as well. Practice a game once a week that stops your kiddo at the door. It could be a song or, a any kind of game. Use a door chime or a lock if you can. Keep your shoes by the door. Rehearse this when everyone's calm, not just in the moment where your kiddo's out the door already. Have a breaking, damaging protocol. Move all those fragile things away, put them high. Use language that reduces shame. Things break, we can fix it, we can clear it, you're safe, everything's okay. And then just have your cleanup kit nearby. Then self-harm support. If your kiddo self-harms, you are not alone and you're not to blame, obviously. And priority is safety. Create a simple plan if you can. For example, figure out what the early signs are. Figure out what helps. Who do you need to call? How do you reduce environmental risks? Just schedule a recovery window after any of those spikes for both of you, which is really important. Then have 3 always ready baskets. Place these where you live. You have a regulation basket, the noise cancelling headphones, or the chewy toy, or the favorite book or snack, put that in a basket. Your repair basket where you have the plasters, disinfectant wipe, bin bags, roller paper towels, whatever you need in there. And then your routine basket, things that you can distract your child with, visual schedules, first, that kind of thing. And these reduce the time and decision fatigue because you are designing your life for the reality, your reality, and not just for a Pinterest life. I'm going to tell you some stories from the trenches. When Max was about 5, we used to lose entire mornings to search for his hair straightener. Yes, his hair straightener. I'm not kidding you. A straightener could swing a whole day. Now, my old approach was to persuade and reason and then panic because the time was getting away from us. And the shift happened when I stopped fighting the need and I designed for it. I had 3 duplicates. I had 3 straighteners, and I put it in a drawer where I knew I could find it. And did this feel extra and bit silly? Yes. Did it save me 40 minutes 3 mornings a week? Also, yes. That's 2 hours recovered every single week from one little microfix. Another time, which wasn't so long ago, we were in a season of pulling apart a wet diaper in the morning. And my goodness, that wet gel would go everywhere. In the carpet, bookshelves, stairs. It is very difficult to sweep up. And it felt like that. I just felt like I was living in a dump because I was cleaning up the whole time. And the change wasn't to discipline him or threaten him to try and stop it. It was just environmental engineering. We would just catch Max as he woke up in the morning and whisk the diaper away. Were we there 100% of the time? No, but the time tax of the cleanup dropped dramatically, and so did my stress. Eloping? Well, I've been there. The game changer was the 90-second roll we practiced when things were calm. We used a silly name, added a song, and rehearsed it like a dance. And when the real moment came, my body remembered the steps. It wasn't perfect, it never is, but it was safer and faster. Having said this, just yesterday, I was caught unawares. Max had managed to get out through the side gate, the garden gate, and I was upstairs, and I just had this feeling that I needed to check up on him. And coming down the stairs, I saw the little munchkin through the glass on the front door on the other side of the road running. But because he had not done it in so long, I was not prepared. So I didn't have my shoes by the front door, and I had to run back upstairs to get them, wasting precious time. And also before, I would make a mad dash after him, shouting at him to come back now. And now what I do is I try and close the distance enough for the safety, and then just quietly call to him, just calms him down, and generally it just makes him stop, turn around, and come back. And of course, the self-harm sessions. Those are tender. And if that's you now, I'm wrapping you in the biggest hug. So we built micro routines around safety. Dim lights, soft pressure, minimal language, then recovery. And I gave myself permission to cancel the rest of the evening, whatever I had planned. The old me would have pushed through to get things done. The wiser me, the one I'm inviting you to meet, understood that recovery is productive when a goal is a regulated family. That was a lot. So let's just recap. Today we reframed time for autism parents. We set boundaries as rules of kindness to protect your nervous system. We designed a weekly rhythm which takes into account a calendar, batching, reset rituals, and concrete protocols for eloping, breaking, and self-harm. If you want help weaving all of this into your unique family, I would love to support you. I created the Creating Time program for autism families, and it's my step-by-step pathway to reclaiming your hours and your energy and your calm. And it's designed specifically for parents raising autistic children. You'll see the link in the show notes. And it is called Creating Time, but think of it as your personal ease and flow. Same heart, same tools, same transformation. And guys, it is not a difficult thing. It is actually such a fun program to do. And it is so easy. Because remember, you are not out of time. You are designing time around the child that you love and the life that you're building. And I'm so proud of you, truly. Until next time, take one small step towards ease today and let that be enough.